Falkland Islands are a British overseas territory and have been since 1833. The principal islands are about 300 miles east of South America's Patagonian coast and about 752 miles north of the Antarctic Peninsula. Well, here I am in the Falkland Islands in the South Atlantic en route to the Antarctica and the Antarctic Peninsula. So it's an incredibly warm day here in the summer, January 8th, 2024. The temperature, I'm guessing, is probably around 50 to 55 degrees. And the wind is pretty sustained, blowing at probably about 10 to 15 miles per hour. But it's not a real cold wind, even though it does come off the Antarctic Peninsula and mainland, but it's not real cold. And it's just a glorious day. A few cumulus clouds in the sky, as you can see. It's bright blue, clear, no pollution, absolutely gorgeous. I never dreamed in my wildest imaginations that I would ever be in the Falkland Islands. Looking at penguins along the sea coast here is absolutely gorgeous, as we have seen. Bright blue ocean, as beautiful as any ocean I've ever seen. Seaweed here. No trees anywhere. Only trees in the Falkland Islands are ones that have been brought in here, like Scotch pine and things like that. And it's just, the landscape is barren and rocky, covered with grasses, lichens, mosses, and small heath-type shrubbery. And a lot of sheep around here. Everywhere I walk, there's sheep droppings. This is on a big sheep ranch here, where this rookery is, and there's sheep in the background. I'm walking towards some right now. They seem to not be too anxious to visit. I'm just overwhelmed with joy and gratitude at the privilege and the opportunity to be here. I praise my Elohim. Very few people ever come to this place. Thank you, Lord. Here's some of the what appears to be the native flora here in the Falklands. Is real common seen around the rocky areas. The Falkland Islands is an archipelago in the South Atlantic made up of 760 some islands, and the main city in the largest island is Port Stanley, which we are looking at right now. It's the largest city and the main settlement in the Falkland Islands, the population of which is about 3,600. It's only accessible by boat or by plane. And in the background you see the ship that we came in on, the Sapphire Princess. We're having lunch in a nice English restaurant overlooking the bay. And let's face it, folks, when people think of the Falkland Islands, they think of penguins. And indeed, the penguins are the stars of the Falkland Islands show. There are many colonies, rookeries on the Falkland Islands. There are many different types of penguins. This is just one rookery that we visited. These are king penguins. And right next to the king penguins is another type of penguin, another rookery just several hundred feet away. The Gen 2 penguins that are black and white. They look like they're wearing tuxedos. This is a Gen 2 penguin, and he's playing around with the rocks. It's kind of a boring life, sitting there for weeks and months at a time, as though he amused himself by picking up a rock and moving it from one place to the other. Now you see here in the background a bunch of young penguins. Here's one that just came out of the ocean. He's shaking the water off of himself. So the rookery is about a quarter of a mile in from the ocean. It's a little sheltered from the wind, which is continual. So he's about ready to make his way back to the rookery after taking a swim in the ocean to catch some fish. He's wandering around trying to find his group. And here's the rookery, and you see some young ones there that are about a few months old, and they're playing around and looking for food from their parents. And here's some young fledglings playing in the mud, looking at their reflections in the mirror, or the mirror of the mud puddle. I mean, there isn't much to do, so you have to amuse yourself any way you can. So here's a young one looking to get some nourishment from, I don't know if this is mother or father. And of course, youngsters are never full, they're always hungry. And the parents getting a little irritated. Come on, kid, bug off, I'm done. Yes, they're fun to watch. We stood there with cameras in hand watching them for quite a while. And here's one going back into the ocean. All right, this is Marjorie, and you've lived in the Falkland Islands all your life.
Yep.
And what do you like the most, and what do you not like the most about living in the Falkland Islands?
I don't like the wind.
The wind.
Don't like the wind, but I just love everything else. I mean, the Falklands is a beautiful place. There's nowhere nicer in the world to live.
Wow, you make a good a tour promoter.
I am a tour guide.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So what do you like the most about the Falkland Islands? What are several things?
The whole freedom of it, really. And the fact that we all know each other. Well, not anymore, we don't, but we used to more or less know each other back in the 60s and 70s.
Why more people have come here?
Oh, yes, since the conflict. I mean, the place has expanded tenfold since the conflict.
And why is that?
Because you've got more jobs, need more people. I mean, the town is 3 times bigger than it was.
Is that because there's a larger military presence?
No, the military aren't in the town.
I mean there's a larger contingency of troops here. That's what I mean.
That doesn't affect us here in Stanley because they're out at Mount Pleasant.
Oh, okay.
They have their own complex. So, but no, it's just the fact that the place has expanded and more people have moved here to live. People grow up, they get married, they have kids, the kids need somewhere to live, and so on, and it just expands.
Are a lot of the young people moving away, or some still staying?
No, they stay. Most of them stay.
Why do you think that is?
Because I suppose it's home, but not only that, they go to college, they go to university, and because our government fund them to go to college and university because we don't have the facilities here. So therefore they go away and they qualify, and most of them will come back and settle. Some don't, purely because of what they've studied. If there's not a job here for them, there's no point in them coming back. So they'll stay and carry on with whatever they've gone away to study. And after they've done that, if there's something here, there's an opening, they will come back. But no.
So you're a tour guide?
No, I'm not a tour guide. No. I just work in our museum. And I help.
What is the biggest tourist attraction here, do you think?
Probably the birds, the
penguins?
wildlife. Well, I would say the wildlife, yes, and the penguins, of course. It's
yeah.
penguins. It's got to be penguins.
They're the stars of the show.
They are. Yeah, everybody loves a penguin. Yeah.
So, what's it like now? We're here during the summertime. What's it like in the wintertime?
It's not too harsh.
Okay.
No, we get snow, obviously, but our weather is not any harsher than the winters in UK because we're as far south as Britain is north.
Ah, it's like Scotland, a little
Yeah,
bit.
well, yes, I suppose, but they get more snow,
Yeah,
I
I
think,
see.
than we do. But no, we're pretty good here in the wintertime. There's nothing that stops us getting around.
Is there much accumulation of snow on the ground, or does it not really stay?
It does for a couple of weeks, but that's it.
Oh, I'm sorry. You came to the Falklands when you were one from England.
Yeah.
You were telling me, and you've lived here the rest of your till now.
Yeah.
Have you been elsewhere?
Yes, so, because from here you can get a normal, military-run flight to the UK, or you can get the LATAM, which goes to Chile. So from there you can get around places, and so I go to the UK regularly because.
So you said that everybody kind of knows everybody here, and it's really safe.
Yeah, it's really quite a kind of close-knitted community. Everyone kind of helps each other, and
What do you like about living in the Falklands, and what do you not like about it?
it's very open. Like there's a lot you can do. It's quite you're pretty much free to roam, and the people are really nice. The people are kind of really generous and helping. Wildlife's nice. It can occasionally have nice weather.
Occasionally?
Yeah, occasionally.
It's today kind of a top-notch day.
Yeah, today's
Yeah.
really, really good.
Does it get better, a little better than this, a little warmer sometimes?
Yeah, it can get a little warmer, but most of the time when it gets warmer, it just gets windier.
Do you think you'll stay here, or will you go off and study somewhere, and then come back, or what?
Yeah, so I've got a couple more years, or like a year or so before I go to college. So when I go to college, you can't do college here. So you have to go. The government will, like, depending on your status here, will pay for you to go to college in the UK.
So if you pass your tests and do well enough.
Yeah, if you get good enough kind of grades, they'll pay for you to go to the UK, or some people have started going to New Zealand and places around the world.
So a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, and then I think I'll probably go to uni, and then
Go to where?
university.
Yeah.
So
in UK.
yeah,
And become a professor at Cambridge or something.
Something
On penguins.
so if I can't get into university or I can't get a job, it's quite easy to come back here and get a job. There's so many places available to get kind of working.
So what are the main areas other than tourism?
There's a large kind of fisheries department, so there's a lot of fishing companies, and
Are they based out of the Falklands, or is it mostly from other places?
Most of them are kind of based here, but there's a couple of.
I didn't see any fishing boats in the bay.
No, there's. It's just kind of come out of fishing season, so there's fishing.
Like sport fishing or commercial fishing?
No, commercial fishing.
Okay.
So you get a lot of large kind of vessels that come in from mostly Asia. Kind of.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Area.
Okay, so they're not necessarily based out of here.
Well, the fishing companies are, but they employ the people from like Asia, and they come.
Sandy and I were absolutely delighted, if not entranced, by the beauty, the bleak beauty of the Falkland Islands. Doesn't look like much from the sea, but once you get on land and start looking around, there is a lot of charming beauty. It's clean, it's pristine, the wildlife is amazing, the penguins are fascinating to watch, totally captivating, and well, there's probably no place quite like this on earth, and I can see why the people here love it. We were very privileged, even though it was only one day, we were very privileged to have been able to spend some time there, and we had exceptional weather. We praise God for that opportunity. It's not always like that here. From what we understand, this was an exceptional day, so we're very grateful for that. So we encourage you, if you have a chance to get to the South Atlantic en route to the Antarctic, stop off at the Falkland Islands and spend a little time. We know that we would like to come back and visit it again another day, another time. That may or may not happen, but there is a place in our heart for the Falkland Islands, and thank you, Falkland Islands, for allowing us to visit you.